Now I find myself in the wild unknown with the frogs and toads, and I'm far from home, but there's so much here to discover, one leap after another. Hop into the adventure, gotta ribbit, jump on it. Welcome to Amphibia life, don't get much crazier. When you're a normal girl living in another world, what you gonna do? You gotta ribbit, jump on it. Welcome to Amphibia life, don't get much crazier. So ribbit, live it in Amphibia.
Ribbit indeed. Welcome everyone to the Frogs of Calamitous Intent, our Disney Plus live reaction Amphibia, and the final episode at that, the long-awaited finale we have spent 3 seasons leading up toward. Oh man, this has been a long trip. I think we've moved, 3 apartments since we first started watching this?
True, although we only started filming when the 2nd season came out.
Yeah, when we first started this, we weren't sure if we wanted to actually review this show or not. We heard a lot of good things. We kind of thought it might have been a little too kid-friendly for us, but we ultimately ended up deciding to give it a chance, so we ended up binging the entire first season. And by the end, we were fairly confident that this was something we could get into. As you all know, we started filming with season 2, and it just blew up from there. This has been a trip. This has been a huge trip. It's like when we finished Ducktales. You start this not really thinking about the destination in mind, and when you get there, it's just like, wow. We came a long way from like a first season filled with filler. This has been a trip. Like, Amphibia definitely has become one of my favorite shows, and a show that I never would have thought would go in the direction that it did. The fact that we had an episode that had a warning on it where a young child gets stabbed. This show pushed boundaries, man. This is one of those shows that's gonna go down in like TV history in terms of like what they've done.
And this isn't even the one with the same-sex couple.
Yeah.
At least not at the forefront.
Exactly, but yeah, this show has been great, and I love the direction they've taken, I love how they present it, I love how they built up all the characters. This has just been a joy overall, and honestly, I'm really sad that it's ending now, but honestly, it feels like it's coming to the logical conclusion. It's not like one of those shows where they try to push it till it like runs out of steam, and this isn't one of those shows where like they end prematurely. I think this is gonna end at a rather satisfying mark. At least I hope it does.
Absolutely. I mean, it was clearly planned out to be 3 seasons. Definitely, your first season is a lot different from the 2nd and 3rd seasons, but it's like, when you go back and watch it, you realize why it was the way it was. You go back and watch the first season, and it's all about the character development. It's all about establishing this world, even if it's at just the local level of Wartwood. We're establishing Anne and the Planters' relationship and a few of the townspeople. Some of your one-off characters that wound up coming back later, but we didn't know at the time. And then, of course, obviously, getting the mystery sort of going, but kind of taking it at a very slow pace. Just like, again, so we could kind of get a feel for who we're following and make it so that when we do get to the end, when we do finally encounter Sasha, how much the stakes are and how much the main character has changed just from their initial coming to Amphibia to that encounter.
Yeah.
And then you go into season 2 where things start moving a little more. We leave Wartwood and go toward Newtopia. We spend about 5 episodes on the road, another 5 in Newtopia, learning a little more. Then we go back to Wartwood and we have about another 10-ish episodes devoted to the temple and getting back to Newtopia, and then True Colors happens.
Oh god.
It changes everything.
True Colors changed so much in terms of this show. We knew it was building towards something, but we didn't think it would go this dark. But the way that it's changed direction so many times, changed its theme, all the messages it's incorporating into it, it's kept me on the edge of my seat. So, in terms of predictions for how this all will end, you have the typical, like, happily ever after, they defeat evil, and the worlds are saved, but you know that there's so many things that can go one way or the other with this, and I look forward to seeing how exactly they handle it.
Obviously, when Ducktales left, I was very happy to continue having Amphibia for at least a little while longer, for at least another year. God, I can't believe it's been a year since Ducktales ended, too.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's always going to leave a hole in my heart. And yeah, we still haven't fully finished our DuckTales retrospective podcast with Zen. Like, lots of stuff has come up, obviously, but definitely, like, are going to try to get most of our thoughts in this video, because I feel like everything's going to end with this. Because as much as I would like to have, like, a proper podcast, at the same time, I think we've covered everything in all of our videos. And this, assuming that it ends appropriately, I feel like we can get all of our opinions in, like, one fell swoop.
Plus, strangely, we haven't really had any other people to talk about it with.
Yeah, that's the other thing that surprised me, because I would have thought this was one of the more popular shows, but in all honesty, it doesn't get that much views on our channel.
No.
Not as much as Owl House does.
And frankly, I think Amphibia has a better overall story.
Yeah, it's definitely structured better, and it definitely has a better end goal in mind. Like, not to diss any other shows.
Not to diss any of the other shows at all.
But it's just surprising that it's not more popular than it is.
After DuckTales, I'd say I've certainly levitated more toward Amphibia than toward Owl House, or any of the other, like, Disney Plus stuff that we've been watching. I've been most excited. In fact, a lot of times when we do our double feature,
we record both shows at the same
back to back, I usually kind of want to save Amphibia for after the other show, for after Molly or for after Owl House, because I'm a little more excited to see what happens with Amphibia.
I'm excited for both shows. I don't particularly favor one over the other. I'm just as excited to see how this all ends, and I feel like there's going to be tears and heartbreak and just all the feels, because, you know, Amphibia's good at doing that to me. Well, a lot of these shows are. This shows how well written they are. In terms of predictions of what's going to happen, I mean, we know that the moon is careening toward Amphibia. We know the core is still out there, ready to grab hold of whoever they can get a hold of first. We know Andrews is, I guess, dying, because he did get hurt pretty bad.
And he's a cyborg.
Yeah, and now it's all a matter
of keeping him alive.
Yeah, and it's a matter of how do we save Amphibia as well as the other world, and how is Anne going to be able to still stay in touch with the planners if she even does. And also what becomes of her friendship with Marcy and Sasha.
And we know about the prophecy that Whoopi Goldberg basically said that they were going to get cool anime powers for Sasha and
better.
Sasha
I will be
and
so
Marcy
disappointed. If they don't address everything, it's not the end of the world. I'm sure either it'll be left up to fan speculation, or maybe they'll release a book. Just like the other Disney Channel shows that got big, like Gravity Falls and Star vs. Evil, who released their own books addressing the stuff they didn't get to in the show. They might do it for Amphibia too. Because, I mean, you have Hop Pop's book, and you have the book addressing the Calamity Box, Leaf's book. So theoretically, we could get plot holes filled in the future should they choose to do such a thing. And one last thing to note, because last episode we weren't able to watch the episode live as we would have liked to. You know, we had plans and whatnot. But thankfully, things worked out, so we are actually going to watch the final episode of Amphibia live, like on TV as it airs at this time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. Yeah, this isn't going to be on Disney Now or anything like that. No pre-recorded. This is genuine live. So you'll be seeing our really actual live reactions as this airs. Oh man, I'm excited and I'm sad and I'm like overwhelmed and I'm just, I'm like a bundle of nerves right now.
I'm sad, but this is the natural timing. It feels right. As long as it's a good ending, I have no real complaints.
Yeah, sadly, all good things must come to an end, and this is it for both the show as well as this particular live reaction. So we want to thank you real quick, everyone who's actually been following us with this, who's commented, who's liked, basically tried to engage with us with this show in general. We appreciate all of it, and we hope that you watch our other stuff too, because we still have Owl House, which is about to finish their second season, and they still have like one final season left, even though it's mostly specials.
Yeah.
But point is, it's not over yet, so there's still stuff for us to talk about there. We still have the Ghost of Molly McGee going on. We have all the Marvel stuff that's yet to come out. We have all the Star Wars stuff that's yet to come out. So, as I mentioned before, no shortage of stuff on this channel.
And of course, there could potentially be other Disney animated shows on the horizon that we may choose to review / live react to. So, you never know.
Mm-hmm. And who knows, maybe we'll find the next Amphibia somewhere in the future. But for now, let's stick with the actual Amphibia and see how this all finally concludes.
So, ribbit, live it in Amphibia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so join us as we watch the actual live airing of the final episode of Amphibia. And I can't exactly say play because this is going on in real time, so stay tuned.
This was a general audience movie.
General audiences, good, that means nobody gets stabbed. Presumably. This is it, people, here we go. Screw the opening, let's just jump right into this. The hardest thing. Giggity?
We are victorious!
Or are they? Oh god. That fucking thing. Did it just launch itself into space? What? It corrupted the moon. Has it always been like that?
Is it just me, or is the moon getting closer?
That's no moon.
That might be a literal space station.
This kind of reminds me of Beast Wars.
Has activated its final gambit. The moon became home to some of the Corps' pet projects. Among them, a plan to eradicate all life as we know it by ramming the moon into Amphibia's surface.
So it's basically the Death Star without the laser?
I've been in that thing's head. I know that more than anything, it's afraid of being destroyed. It will do whatever it takes to defeat us and claim the stones as its own.
So what you're saying is, this thing's a giant sore loser!
More or less.
We have to do something! Anyone have any ideas on how to stop an entire moon?
Blow it up.
Wait! Don't we have enough going on?
Hey,
Hi,
Monroe.
Monroe.
Mother old? Who is this now?
So, how did it go?
Well, we stopped the invasion, but now it looks like the moon is about to kill us all, so mixed bag?
Nah.
See, and the prophecy has finally come to pass.
It said that the three of us would save the world. So, let's go save the world! Yeah!
Just a minute, the prophecy doesn't necessarily say you'll succeed. You see, the prophecy isn't so much a prediction as it is a humble request for help. You have to tap into the energy that remains in the stones in order to get the energy you need. However, if you do that,
there might not be enough energy left for us to get home.
We could be stuck in Amphibia forever.
yeah, so now that all the cards are on the table, what will you do? The choice is yours.
I mean, loophole.
You call that a choice? Of course we'll!
There's no way we'd leave you hanging in your hour of need.
I wasn't worried. Were you worried, Tony? I sure wasn't.
Now let's get
I totally thought they were gonna say no.
to the music box!
The stones are strong, but they may not be enough to defeat the core. If things look bad out there, don't forget about the secret spell.
Wait, the secret what now?
Didn't I tell you about that?
What?
Well, the stones are rumored to hold a hidden power, enough to defeat any foe. But summoning such power
Comes in parts.
the life of the user.
Oh.
So whoever uses the spell and calls on the power of all three stones will die.
Yeah, but hopefully it will never come to that. Am I right? Okay, good luck up there.
No pressure.
How do I use it?
My child, you have only but to ask.
Hey, sorry for the holdup, guys!
No way!
Valeriana!
Oh, hey.
That's what we got here!
Pretty creepy if you ask me.
Pretty creepy, pretty creepy. Hello, Anne. Are you ready for your final battle?
Oh, heck yeah!
The three of you close your eyes. Focus. Think of your memories of Amphibia. This will allow the stones to resonate with your hearts once again.
That was easy.
Listen to your heart.
Warriors of Amphibia, arise!
Ooh. Woo. Shiny anime armor.
Wait, you does!
I like your hair.
You could do that this whole time?
Nope. These powers feel way more intense than before.
The powers must stack.
Because now you have the full power.
Classic synergy buff. Okay then, let's go punch that moon in its big ugly face.
Dun, 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 dun.
Enemy targets
Oh, wow. That's a lot of defenses. Upgraded animation, activate! Cat power!
It's no big deal. Ace!
Cheerleading powers. Ooh, she has wings. She's throwing a spirit bomb.
Phoenix Force.
This is the coolest, most animating thing
Nerd!
Go, dice roll!
Hope she doesn't roll a 1.
Oh, that would be disastrous.
20, baby.
Oh! Haha! Yay, magical girl powers. Most powerful thing in the world.
Father, help us. Save us. And you can finally join us forever. Hey!
Don't be a dick, dude.
What are you doing? What I must. Robots, engage.
For fuck's sake, Andreas.
Leave them to me.
Ooh! Really?
How do you trip in space?
Oh, freaking Marcy.
Oh, wait. Andreas is robots. They're helping us.
Oh, okay.
Don't believe this. You fool. Immortal. What are you doing?
Crush.
Something I should have done a long time ago. Standing up to you.
It's like what Ann said.
Full throttle engaged.
Seriously, why would he want to spend an eternity with people that have yelled at him for the last, like, 1,000 years?
Guys, hate to bring this up.
Oh,
but
shit.
it's fading fast. Me too.
Oh,
Our
fuck.
bodies aren't as used to this as yours.
Uh-oh.
Look, guys, I know what we have to do. I'm going to call upon the power of all 3 stones. I may die in the process, but at least you and everyone else will be safe.
What? Are you crazy? There's no way we're letting you do that.
Our whole lives, I've followed you two, counted on you, trusted you. Now it's your turn to follow my lead. Please, let me do this.
It'll kill you, though.
Not sure how this will go, so you better get out of here.
Can they breathe out there?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
You better come back alive, Boonchoy. I swear to frog you, no! Robo, take me to Ann. Now! Sprig, no! It's too dangerous!
Are you gonna be able to breathe in space?
Well, you dare use Amphibia's greatest treasure against us.
These stones are not Amphibia's greatest treasure.
The power of friendship.
Mother Old said all I had to do was ask. So, I'm asking. Can you help me save the world I love?
Ooh.
Ultra Instinct, Dan?
Please don't do this. Don't go. I don't know what I'll do without you. You're my everything. You changed my life.
And you've changed mine.
It's like an ultra Princess Serenity mode.
Saving this world was the best decision I've ever made. My only regret is that I never got to see Lovejoy's too.
Damn it, Thanos! Fuck, did Ann just die? They wouldn't go that far, you think? There's gotta be some Deus Ex thing they're gonna pull out of their ass to bring her back. Come on. How convenient that they had that one spell. It's like the 3 of you are destined to defeat this great evil. Oh, by the way, there's this one spell that can totally 1K them, but it'll kill you in the process.
Feels like an anime to me.
This made it things feel kind of rushed at the end. They barely got to like have fun with their powers. They had the highlighted scenes, but that was about it.
This kind of feels like on par for a lot of finales where they kind of rush things.
That being said, I did like how they used them though.
Yep.
Fit into each of them. She in Oblivion right now?
She's in the space between the spaces.
Huh.
She's in her poster?
Bits. 3 Stones Data would like to chat.
Hi, who are you? What's going on? I am the cosmic guardian who has watched over countless worlds for countless eons. Whoa. Okay.
Weird way to
What's
chat,
up
but
with
okay.
this old-timey computer?
Somebody's out of touch.
You're off by a couple decades.
Was this like an old Mac computer or something? Yeah, I was gonna say. But
Domino.
How's this? Better? So much better. Hey, none of that.
Sorry.
I figured your response would be something like this. I am very cute.
Am I dead or something?
Yes, and no. I made a copy of you right before you expired. A backup, if you will.
So
For all
Schrodinger's
intents and
Anne.
purposes, you're the same Anne Bunchoy.
Well, that's gonna cause some serious existential dread later on. Does that make you...
Just a watcher, a viewer. I'm not in the demographic, though.
And you look like my cat because...
My true form would make your human brain explode.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty crazy...
oh god.
I brought you to this place because I want to offer you a job. To keep a near infinite story short, I've been doing this job for a very long time. It's exhausting. So, I was hoping you would consider being my replacement. I created the stones to see how mortals would handle unlimited power. Turns out, not that well. Would you believe after about 10,000 years, you're the only individual who used that power for good?
This is a lot to take in right now. Do I have a choice?
Well, of course you do. I'm not a jerk.
I'm gonna have to pass.
No, I haven't even told you about Big Fridays.
Sorry, dude. You seem cool.
This is
but
Kami offering the job to Goku all over again.
I'd make 100 dumb mistakes. I'd probably blow up the multiverse if you put me in charge.
No, don't do this to me, kid.
My time in Amphibia taught me that we're all changing and improving and learning as we go. Every time I hit an obstacle, I found a way to overcome it. When I thought Sasha and Marcy would be stuck in their old ways, they proved me wrong and our friendship got stronger. And Wortwood, the oldest fashioned, least accepting place, ended up accepting me as one of their own.
Yeah.
So you're saying you could continue improving? Maybe even one day feel worthy of this post?
It's possible. I have my whole life ahead of me to make bad choices and learn good lessons from them.
Yeah.
Or I had my whole life ahead of me.
About that.
I feel like I know the voice actress. Sounds like Ruby from Steven Universe.
I'm sending you back to the world of the living. You've shown me the error in my thinking. And if you can do that at age 13, then imagine the guardian you'll be after a life fully lived.
Looks like friggin' Kerberos from
That's what I was thinking.
I've waited thousands of years to retire. What's 78 years more?
Wait, are you saying that in 78 years I'm gonna...
Well, that's nice to know.
I'm back, baby.
What's up?
What's everyone looking at?
Not now, Anne. We're mourning the loss of a true hero and the greatest king ever. Anne?
Hey, dude!
Aww.
Even Grime hugged her.
Yeah.
The core exploded, and then so did you.
Why is your pocket glowing?
Huh.
New stones.
What are
Okay.
those?
I think there are chances.
Talk to you later.
Okay, so she gets the shards for herself. I guess she can go Super Saiyan whenever she wants to.
It's finally over.
So what does that mean for you? I told you there was some Deus Ex Machina bullshit gonna happen. So I guess Anne's gonna die when she's 91? That's a good age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's full life.
Yeah. And by that point, yeah, she'll definitely be ready to take on the role of a cosmic god who helps multiple universes. She'll be the new Doctor Strange. A better Doctor Strange. Also, tell me you weren't thinking of that South Park episode when they started talking. Remember when they met the aliens and the aliens could try to change form that they would like and then becoming the giant taco that poops ice cream?
Well, I mean, that's an old trope.
I know. So I guess if she has the shards now, is it like just her, or all three of them going to be able to like go Super Saiyan again? I imagine it'd give her the power to travel between universes. I mean, if she's destined to be the Guardian one day, it's a good way for her to always visit Sprig and the Planners and everybody.
Based on what Anne told us, I think these shards are low-output versions of the stones.
So we can use them to get back home?
In theory,
but we're talking crumbs of energy. Judging by the size and luminosity, I think they're one-time use only.
So we use these.
That's
to return
unfortunate.
home. There's no coming back.
Not only that, who knows how long they'll hold for? Could be hours, could be minutes.
Well, we better say our goodbyes.
Yeah.
You girls need to go back to your own lives. I think we've kept you long enough.
Aw.
I came to this world thinking only of myself. It was wrong of me, and I wish I had gotten to know you both better.
Don't be so hard on yourself. In a way, you helped us
Are they
see
holding
what
hands?
was important as well.
Aww. What about him?
Goodbye, Andreas.
Take care, kiddo.
I'm sorry.
Commander,
Lieutenant, it was an honor serving with you.
I'm gonna miss you so
You find Percy and Braddock. You tell them. I'll miss them forever.
I will. As soon as I find the pieces of my heart and put them back
Aww. It's so wholesome.
Goodbye, Polly. You're the little sister I never knew I needed. I know you're gonna grow into an amazing frog and take over the world.
Totally.
Without you as my moral compass, I definitely will.
Goodbye, HB. Thanks for taking me in. I'm so lucky to call myself a planter.
I'm the lucky one, Anne. And I'm so blessed to have a granddaughter like you. If you ever need a home-cooked meal or your old room back, just stop by.
Like an old wise frog once told me, family always finds each other.
Oh.
Goodbye, Anne. I'll never forget you. And I won't forget you either, Sprig. Which means
God
I'll never
damn
get
it.
you. Not really. Nothing will ever change how much you mean to me. Not time or space or being worlds apart. Spraying against the world.
Spraying against the world.
I want you to have this. Maybe it'll help you on your future adventures.
How?
Really?
How she gave up her phone. It's really saying something. It's time. I guess. Finally, the leaves fell out of her hair. Ooh.
Damn you, Thanos!
That's probably a good thing, let's face it.
now we build a better world.
together.
Not to undercut you guys, but I just got my first hair!
Yay, Polly's gonna have hair now. That's good, all the topiary and vegetation grew back.
Actually, I love this one.
I love they stuck with that since the beginning.
Frogs, see you at the ceremony. Pardon me, young lady.
Who you calling young lady?
Polly has a full body now.
Oh, hello, Polly. Still can't get used to you as a frog.
Whatever, Wally. Here's the potion for your rheumatism, Mrs. Croker. Try not to drink it too fast.
Mama, let's dance. I never should have taken that cheat day.
He stopped working out one day and his muscles are gone.
Hello, delegates. We're just in time for the ceremony.
Oh wow, Tony became mayor.
You won the election?
Well, I had a little help.
Constituents don't bribe themselves.
Aw. Aw. You see their baby?
I saw that.
There's a snail bird.
And it's far away from the countless enemies I made when I was General
Unit.
Scourge of the Sand Wars.
These are a ragnar.
I know, sweetheart. We all know.
Aw.
There's Michelangelo.
Aw.
Sup, HP? We're Sprig. It's ceremony time.
In his usual spot.
He's making his own journal.
Hey, come on. It's time for the unveiling ceremony.
Oh, he lives in Ansel's room.
Can't wait to see how it turned out.
I wonder how much time passed. Aww.
Yeah.
Guess what, Frig? I just
Aww.
discovered a new continent. Untouched by frog, newt, or toad. Feel like a new adventure?
Huh.
I'm
I
in.
think it's kind of weird she looks like Anne and they're dating. Meanwhile, that's a big time jump. So she would be 23.
Today marks the 10-year anniversary of the event we've come to know as Frogvasion. But the real question remains, was it
Marcy.
a hoax?
Sasha! Mars!
Yeah. Some things never change.
How was the flight?
Pretty good.
Happy birthday.
10 years.
Crazy, right? So what have you been
Aw.
up to? Still doing that webcomic? I read a few chapters.
Like a little
It's
thing.
awesome.
Oh, thanks. And it's doing pretty well along ride.
I really like working with the kids, helping them overcome their emotional baggage. I have a lot of experience.
Hey, nice signal, buddy.
Oh. Did you and Anne hang out much after I moved?
At first, yeah, but we kind of fell into different friend groups in high school. We still talked, but only every once in a while. Never mind that, though. Have you heard
So
what
she did
Anne's
move.
doing these days?
Yes, and I love it.
Oh, she went to the aquarium.
This energetic fella is a pink South American tree frog.
Aw.
What's his name? I named him Spring, after a dear, dear friend of mine.
Aw.
Okay, class, everyone thank Anne the herpetologist.
Thanks, Bradley.
Makes sense. Long way from someone who used to hate frogs.
But it's how we grow. It can be the hardest thing to realize you can't hold on to something forever. Sometimes you have to let it go. But of the things you let go, you'd be surprised what makes its way back to you.
It's no big deal. It's no big deal. Oh my god.
Oh boy, am I a wreck.
Woo!
Oh.
Oh. I knew this would be emotional, but oof, right in the feels. I mean, kudos to them for actually sticking to their guns and making it so that they parted ways, but it was for the best. Because honestly, if they were going to get rid of the gems, there really was no realistic way of them going back and forth without them really having to pull something out of their ass. But I mean, at least everyone got to say a final goodbye. And yeah, it sucks that they probably are never going to see each other again, but they made each other's lives better. They are now able to live their lives separately but fulfillingly. And the impact they had on each other will always be there. Man, how to unpack all this? Listen, my only criticism is that this was a little rushed. I know that they probably don't want to draw it out anymore, but still.
I mean, honestly, the finale in reality was all in. This was the epilogue.
I guess because, like, you know, them destroying the core just felt like the big finale. I know technically it was defeating Andreas, but I felt like the core was the big enemy, and it just kind of felt like they almost rushed through it. I felt like it should have been, like, its own thing before they got to the epilogue. But
Yeah.
that's just, like, how, structure-wise, how I felt it should have been. That being said, though, it was a good finale. It was great seeing them get their powers and taking down the giant moon and all these robots and doing it in the most flashy anime style possible. It was like all the anime.
Just Madman animation feel to it, or like Gurren Lagann or Kill la Kill with this big space battle.
Yeah. And I saw the Naruto references in there. I kind of hoped that they would have found a way to still visit each other on occasion, but I'm fine with what we got, honestly.
Yes.
It was nice to see that they showed both sides, what happened to each of them afterwards. In terms of Amphibia, it was nice to see that they managed to rebuild everything. I mean, given how badly everything was ruined by the robots and stuff, it's good to see that they recovered.
And seeing that Andreas got redeemed and he contributed to that rebuilding.
I am glad with that, because part of me did want Andreas to get redeemed, because he was such a charming character, and it would have felt like such a waste if they just made him full-on evil and he just died for the sake of redemption. On the other hand, I felt like, again, it would have been a mercy for him, given how long he's been alive, but, I mean, at least he's doing what Leaf hoped he did, in that he opened himself up to friendship again, and clearly people accepted him despite what he's done. So There's that at least.
And he's making it up to them.
Yeah.
He's
as
doing
he
his
should.
part, yeah.
And it was nice to see planters are still thriving, still doing their thing as farmers. They're learning and growing, seeing the townspeople thriving. Even Tony became mayor. And Maggie sells her potions with her sisters.
Yeah.
I'm surprised her sisters didn't get older, though. Weren't they the same age
They
as
did.
Polly?
They had their legs.
Oh, okay, so they had
Yeah.
the legs at least. I guess
They
they
had
were younger
legs.
than Polly then?
Must have been.
I can't believe Joe Sparrow hooked up with Bessie and they had little bird of snail babies. I'm like, how does that work? Oh wait, all these animals are like 2 of something, mostly. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the mating dance worked. And Olivia and Yuna got together, as everyone figured they would. She got to squeeze her catchphrase in there. A little bit of it anyway. It was nice to see Grime got back in good graces. He seemed like he was captain of Utopia again.
Yep.
I hope he was able to tell those other 2 toads what Sasha said. Because we never...
Yeah, we didn't see them after they broke ties with Sasha after the betrayal.
Well, they're not the type to really go into those dangerous situations.
Yeah.
I mean, they were kind of like the weak links in terms of the whole Toad army. They did not like being there even when they were there, so it makes sense they would hide. It's just their nature.
But I mean, they kind of were what swayed Sasha to become what she eventually became, to see how she took things too far. Even though she did wind up still going with her plan to invade Utopia, still, there's that in the back of her mind, and I do kind of wish, that we had gotten to see them in the end.
Yeah. Surprised it took him that long to make a statue of Anne. You thought they would have done that right away. And poor Loggle, he lost all his muscles. And one cheat day. Like, dude, were you taking steroids? What? And then, of course, seeing the girls as they grew up. Well, we never saw them reunite with their parents, so I guess they were just a non-entity and all that.
Yeah, we can assume Marcy did wind up leaving and going with them.
Yeah, I mean, given everything she's been through, moving away just doesn't seem like that big a deal anymore, given she's been a world away. And I mean, they all have their phones and computers and stuff. It's a lot easier to stay in touch with people who are at a distance nowadays than it was back then.
Yes, back in the days of your IMAX.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, so it was nice to see that she moved away, but she still was able to make friends and seek her passion and actually be happy and still keep in touch with Anne and Sasha. And then, of course, hearing that Anne and Sasha, despite still going to the same school, they ended up drifting apart, as some friends tend to do. They found other friends, they joined different crowds, but I mean, they still kept in touch. Yep. It was nice seeing that Sasha was using her experience of her struggling with control and anger issues and stuff and use it to teach kids who are suffering the same.
And she said she actually was reading Marcy's webcomics.
So she was actually taking legit interest in Marcy for
Yes.
once. That's definitely something I'm glad of. Then, of course, Anne, I didn't think of it, but it totally makes sense. What did they call her? A hipologist or something? Or, like someone who studies frogs.
Right, yeah. I couldn't
Which
remember.
totally makes sense. Again, she went from hating frogs in high school, and now it's her passion.
The ultimate growth.
And it's probably the best way she's able to stay close to the planters despite, never seeing them again.
Not only does she go from hating frogs to loving them, she actually devotes herself to learning all about them.
Well, considering she's been exposed to every species of frog and amphibian, while she was there, it makes sense that she would know about them.
What threw me was that whole "what do I want to be" paper and All In. The fact that it was blank and that they're saying that, there's this chance that she could die. And so would that be her ultimate thing? I'm glad that they ultimately didn't go that route and actually allowed her to do something more meaningful other than, self-sacrifice.
Yeah, I thought it would have been too much if they allowed her to self-sacrifice. I know it's a big typical trope in a lot of animes and that your hero must make the ultimate sacrifice for the sake of saving everyone, but I figured they would do something to save her. I mean, you're not going to kill off a 13-year-old in a show like this. It just doesn't make sense. It's way too depressing, too.
Not to mention, was the Guardian of the Three Jewels going to strand Marcy and Sasha if Anne had accepted the position?
I mean, Anne would have had the power, so she could have theoretically sent them back herself. That's another thing, too, is I felt like if she went that route, she probably could have stayed in touch with everyone that way, because she would have had the powers of a god.
I don't know, because she may not have been able to really communicate with them aside from vague things. It seems that she's basically on another plane of existence.
I guess so. I mean, considering we never heard about this god till now, unless you could think of anything that they referenced beforehand.
No, the only thing, like I said, was that it was the poster in Anne's bedroom.
Yeah, I suppose that was like the foreshadowing we got for that. And I mean, if she's meant to become that new cosmic being when she finally does pass, like, live out her mortal life, then theoretically she could see everyone in Amphibia again. Because we know that some of them have really long lifespans. So even if, like, they're really old, she could see some of them again. She could see Frigg as, like, an old man, Polly as an old woman or something, whoever else happens to be alive left over in Wartwood and wherever else.
See them in the afterlife, too.
That too. Whatever version of afterlife. Yeah. I guess I would say I'm satisfied with this.
Yes.
Like, this went as far as it could go, and without having to pull any sort of magical Deus Ex Machina stuff, they ended on a conclusion that, while bittersweet, makes sense for all the characters. Yeah, so that's the end of Amphibia. So, any final thoughts on everything?
I'm satisfied, but I am sad to see it go. Obviously, it'll always be there in reruns.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be rewatching.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very rewatchable show.
Yes.
You always catch new things you didn't notice before.
Some of the jokes that just still hit every time.
And some of the references could happen in the future, and they would joke about it in, like, earlier episodes. You're like, oh.
I'm like, honestly, I could probably watch the Scavenger Hunt and Planters Check-In episode multiple times.
And we're gonna do so deal with it!
I'm the Time Lord now. You'll never solve me. I mean, that episode alone, just, I could rewatch that a number of times. And I have.
It gets the thumb of approval.
Yeah. That is probably my favorite set of episodes.
I'm still trying to process everything, and I know it's not like one of those things where, like, you really have to think about it all that much. It's just, just trying to get over the shock that it's all over now.
Then again, there is still one lingering thing. We did establish multiverse.
Yeah, they did reference it.
We established multiverse, and they got a working portal.
It's like I've been saying in all their other reviews. Theoretically, given how a lot of their shows are, a lot of the lore that's introduced, we could have crossovers of all these Disney shows. We could have Owl House crossover with Amphibia. They could cross over into Ducktales. They can cross over into Star. They can cross over into Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls has already technically existed within.
Exactly. So, like I said, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Honestly, if after everything ends, they could just do kind of like a one big special crossover event of, like, everything.
Yeah, I would be immensely satisfied if they did that. And I hope they do. Because if they're doing all this, like, crossover stuff, especially with the latest Chip and Dale movie, like, if they can do that, they can definitely do this with Disney Channel. And I hope so, because I would love to see maybe, like, a glimpse of Amphibia and the characters at least one final time through this. And again, I hope that they come out with, like, a book or a journal or something in regards, just as, so I can read all the little, like, tidbits and stuff they didn't get to. But with that being said, it's the end of the Frogs of Calamitous Intent, people. I'd say till next time, but sadly we know there's not going to be a next time, so...
At least for this one.
For now. I say until the next show, I'm Kat MacBerrie.
I'm Doug MacBerrie.
And it's like they said, if something's meant to be, or if you're meant to see someone again, it'll happen. It's no big deal. It's no big deal, but it is a big deal.